The echoes of Empress Aria's broadcast had barely faded when the Imperial forces surged forward with renewed vigor. Hacked's paws flew across his console, desperately trying to keep up with the rapidly changing tactical situation. Multiple breach points, Hacked squeaked, his whiskers twitching frantically. "They're hitting us from all sides, Captain." Jeb's face was a mask of grim determination as he assessed the situation. "Zeke, Vex, shore up our defenses on the lower levels. Killian, I need you to coordinate our remaining automated turrets. We can't let them push us back any further." The palace shuddered under the assault, the sounds of battle growing ever closer. Hacked could see on his tactical display that the Imperial forces were pressing their advantage, emboldened by their new Empress's words. "They're fighting like they've got nothing to lose," Killian growled, his scarred hands dancing over the weapon's controls. Zeke's voice crackled over the comm, still somehow maintaining its upbeat tone despite the dire situation. "Well, we've got everything to lose, so I'd say that makes us even. Come on, team, let's show these Imperials what we're made of." As Hacked coordinated their defenses, he couldn't help but marvel at the sudden change in the Imperial forces. Just moments ago, they had been on the verge of retreat. Now, they fought with a fervor that bordered on fanaticism. Captain Hacked called out, a thought occurring to him. "Do you think this Empress Aria is for real? Could she really rally the entire Empire against us?" Jeb's expression darkened. "I don't know, Hacked. But real or not, she's given the Imperials something to fight for, and that makes her dangerous." Vex chimed in, her voice tight with exertion as she held off another wave of attackers. "We can't underestimate the power of a figurehead. Even if she's just a puppet, she's a symbol now. And symbols can be more dangerous than any weapon." As if to punctuate Vex's words, a massive explosion rocked the palace. Hacked's console lit up with warnings as another section of their defenses crumbled. "We can't hold them like this," Hack said, his voice filled with a mix of frustration and fear. "We need to change our strategy, find some way to turn the tables." Jeb nodded, his mind clearly racing. "You're right, we've been playing defense for too long. It's time we took a page out of our racing playbook and did something unexpected." As Jeb began to outline a daring new plan, Hacked felt a familiar surge of adrenaline. This was just like the most dangerous races they'd run, everything on the line, the odds stacked against them, with only their wits and teamwork to see them through. The Imperial forces might have a new Empress to fight for, but the crew of the Broken Promise had something just as powerful, the unbreakable bond forged through countless life or death situations. As Hacked prepared to implement Jeb's audacious new strategy, he knew that no matter what came next, they would face it together. As the Imperial assault intensified, Hack's mind raced with potential strategies. His paws flew over his console, pulling up schematics of the palace and surrounding areas. Captain Hack squeaked, his voice tight with urgency. "I think I have an idea. It's risky, but it might buy us some time." Jeb looked over, his eyebrow raised. "Let's hear it, Hacked. At this point, we need all the ideas we can get." Hacked pulled up a holographic display of the palace's power grid. "If we overload the main reactor, we could create an electromagnetic pulse. It would knock out their communications and potentially disable their weapons. But it would affect our systems too." A tense silence fell over the command center as the implications sank in. "That's a hell of a gamble," Killian growled, his scarred face creased with concern. "We'd be flying blind." Zeke's voice crackled over the comm, somehow still carrying a note of excitement despite the dire situation. "Blind, maybe, but not deaf or dumb. I like it. High risk, high reward, just my style." Vex, however, seemed less enthusiastic. "Sir, with all due respect, we'd be putting ourselves at a severe disadvantage. And what about the potential collateral damage?" Jeb's face was a mask of concentration as he weighed their options. "It's a valid concern, Vex. Hacked, what's the potential blast radius?" Hacked's whiskers twitched as he ran the calculations. "If we contain it properly, we should be able to limit the effect to the palace and immediate surroundings. But there's always a risk of it spreading further." The debate raged on, with the team arguing the merits and risks of such a drastic move. As they discussed, Hack's console lit up with new information. "Captain," he interrupted, "I've been analyzing the broadcast. It's confirmed Arya is indeed the Emperor's daughter. But there's something odd about her claim to the throne. The succession protocols seem unclear." Jeb's eyes narrowed. "Interesting. File that away for now, Hacked. We might need that information later." He turned back to the team. "As for the EMP plan, we'll keep it as a last resort. For now, we need to focus on more conventional tactics." As if on cue, another explosion rocked the palace. Zeke's voice came through, strained but still determined. "Whatever we're going to do, we better do it fast. These imps are getting awfully cozy with our front door." Jeb nodded grimly. "All right, here's what we're going to do. Zeke, I need you to create a diversion. Something flashy, something very you. Vex, while they're distracted, take your best squad and hit their flank. Hacked, coordinate with Killian to redirect our remaining defenses to support Vex's attack." As the team sprang into action, Hacked couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and apprehension. They were pushing themselves to the limit, using every trick and tactic they'd learned from their racing days. But would it be enough? The battle raged on, with Zeke's outrageous diversion involving, somehow, a makeshift fireworks display, and what sounded suspiciously like a one-man band providing just enough chaos for Vex's precision strike to make headway. But even as they fought back, Hacked could see on his tactical display that they were still vastly outnumbered. The Imperial forces, driven by their new Empress, seemed endless. As he coordinated their defenses, desperately trying to buy them more time, Hacked couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something crucial. The key to turning this battle around was out there somewhere, hidden in the chaos of combat and the mysteries surrounding Empress Arya. As the battle raged on, Hacked found his mind racing with possibilities. Between coordinating defenses and relaying tactical information, an idea began to form in his agile mind. Captain Hacked called out, his whiskers twitching with excitement. "I think I might have a way to turn this around. If we could locate Empress Arya." Jeb's eyes lit up with understanding. "We could potentially end this fight before it gets any worse." "Good thinking, Hacked. What do you need?" Hack's paws flew over his console. "I'm going to try to access the palace's internal security systems. If Arya is coordinating the Imperial forces from anywhere within the complex, we might be able to pinpoint her location." As Hacked worked, the rest of the team continued their desperate defense. Zeke's voice crackled over the comm, punctuated by the sound of blaster fire. "Not to rush you, little buddy, but if you've got an ace up your sleeve, now would be a great time to play it." Working on it, Hacked muttered, his concentration absolute as he navigated the complex Imperial systems. Minutes ticked by, feeling like hours as the battle intensified around them. Hacked could hear the strain in his teammates' voices as they fought to hold their positions. "Anything yet?" Hacked Jeb asked, his voice tense as he coordinated their dwindling forces. Hack's ears drooped in frustration. "Nothing concrete, Captain. I've managed to access the security feeds, but there's no sign of Arya. It's like she's a ghost." Vex's voice cut in, breathless from combat. Could she be broadcasting from off-world, making it seem like she's here to rally the troops? "It's possible," Jeb mused, "but something doesn't add up. The speed of the Imperial response, the coordination of their attacks. She has to be close." As Hacked continued his search, he couldn't shake a nagging feeling. Something about this whole situation felt off. He expanded his search, digging deeper into the palace's systems. Captain Hacked called out, his voice tight with excitement. "I think I've found something. There's a secure communication hub deep within the palace. It's heavily encrypted, but the energy signature matches the broadcast we saw earlier." Killian growled in frustration. "Great, so we know where she's hiding. But how do we get to her with an entire Imperial army between us and her?" Jeb's face hardened with determination. "We don't have to get to her. If we can disrupt that communication hub, we might be able to throw the Imperial forces into disarray." As the team began to formulate a plan to strike at the heart of the Imperial command, Hack couldn't help but feel a mix of hope and apprehension. They were so close to potentially turning the tide of this battle, but the risks were enormous. The search for Empress Arya had given them a target, but reaching it would be a challenge unlike any they'd faced before. As Hack prepared for their daring move, he knew that the next few hours would determine not just their fate, but potentially the fate of the entire galaxy. As Hack and the team debated their next move, a series of explosions rocked the palace. But these blasts were different. They were coming from outside the Imperial lines. Captain Hack squeaked, his ears perking up as he analyzed the data streaming across his console. Multiple contacts approaching from the city. They're engaging the Imperial forces from behind. Jeb rushed to Hack's station, his eyes widening as he took in the tactical display. By the cosmic void, he breathed. It's the prisoners we freed. They've made it. The comm system crackled to life, a gruff voice cutting through the static. This is Colonel Tarak of the Free Buena Terra Resistance. Heard you folks could use a hand. A cheer went up from the team. Zeke's exuberant voice came over the comm. Now that's what I call perfect timing. Let's show these Imperials what happens when you mess with the good guys. Hack's paws flew over his console as he worked to coordinate their new allies with their existing defenses. It was a delicate balance, integrating these fresh but unfamiliar forces into their strategy. Hack Jeb ordered, I need you to liaison with Colonel Tarak. Get his forces up to speed on our situation and coordinate their movements with ours. On it, Captain Hack replied, already opening a secure channel to the resistance forces. As Hack worked, he could see the tide of battle slowly beginning to turn. The Imperial forces, caught between their defensive position and the newly arrived resistance fighters, were starting to falter. Colonel Tarak Hack communicated, his voice filled with urgency. We've located a potential command center for the Imperial forces. If we can neutralize it, we might be able to end this fight. Understood, Little One, Tarak's gravelly voice replied. What do you need from us? Hack quickly outlined their plan, coordinating the resistance forces to provide a distraction while a small team would attempt to infiltrate the secure communication hub. As the plan was set in motion, Hack couldn't help but feel a surge of hope. They were still outnumbered, still facing incredible odds, but for the first time since Empress Aria's broadcast, it felt like they had a fighting chance. Captain Hack reported, his whiskers twitching with excitement. Colonel Tarak and his forces are in position. We're ready to make our move on the communication hub. Jeb nodded, his face set with determination. Good work, Hack. Zeke, Vex, you're with me. We're going after that hub. Killian, you're in charge here. Keep coordinating with Hack and the resistance forces. As Jeb and the strike team prepared to depart, Hack felt a mixture of anxiety and determination. They were about to make their most daring move yet, and everything hinged on its success. The battle for Buena Terra had entered its most critical phase. With the arrival of reinforcements, they had been given a second wind. But Hack knew that in races like these, the final stretch was often the most dangerous. As he turned back to his console, ready to coordinate the most complex tactical operation of his life, Hack silently hoped that their streak of defying the odds would hold out just a little longer. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and the finish line had never seemed so close, yet so perilously far away. As Jeb and the strike team made their way towards the communication hub, Hack remained glued to his console, coordinating the complex dance of their forces with the newly arrived resistance fighters. His paws flew across the controls, his racing instincts allowing him to anticipate and react to the ever-changing battlefield with uncanny precision. Hacked Killian's gruff voice cut through his concentration. Anything new on those Imperial systems you tapped into? Hack's whiskers twitched as he quickly switched screens, diving back into the palace's databases. Nothing yet, but let me dig a little deep. Wait a minute. His voice trailed off as something caught his eye. Buried deep within the Imperial files was an encrypted document that seemed out of place. As Hack worked to decrypt it, his eyes widened in disbelief. Killian, he squeaked, his voice tight with excitement and disbelief. You need to see this. It's about Empress Aria and the Imperial succession. As Killian leaned in to look, Hack quickly opened a comm channel to Jeb and the strike team. Captain, we've found something crucial. The document I'm looking at. It suggests that Aria isn't the true heir to the throne. What Jeb's voice crackled over the comm, surprise evident even through the static. Explain hacked. According to this hacked continued, his paws shaking slightly as he scrolled through the document, there's another heir. The Emperor had a son, kept secret for his own protection. Arya was never meant to take the throne. The implications of this revelation hung heavy in the air. If true, it could potentially destabilize the entire imperial power structure. Good work. Hack Jeb's voice came through, tense with concentration. We're approaching the communication hub now. This information could be crucial in confronting Arya. As Hack relayed the information to Colonel Tarak and the other team leaders, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the verge of something monumental. The battle around them seemed to fade into the background as the potential consequences of this discovery loomed large. Suddenly, Hack's console lit up with urgent warnings. "Captain," he cried out, "I'm detecting a massive energy spike from the communication hub. Whatever they're doing in there, it's big." Before Jeb could respond, all screens in the palace flickered to life. Empress Arya's face appeared, her expression a mixture of triumph and cold determination. "Rebels of Buena Terra," her voice rang out, filling every corner of the embattled palace. "Your futile resistance ends now. Witness the true power of the Empire." As her image faded, Hack's sensors went haywire. Something was happening, something big enough to make his fur stand on end. Captain Hack called out, his voice filled with panic. "I'm detecting multiple hyperspace signatures. Something's coming through, and it's massive." As the team watched in horror, a colossal shape began to materialize in Buena Terra's orbit. It was unlike anything Hacked had ever seen, a superweapon of terrifying proportions. By the cosmic void, Killian breathed, his usual gruff demeanor shaken. "What is that thing?" Hack's paws trembled as he analyzed the readings. "I don't know, but its power levels are off the charts. If that thing fires..." He didn't need to finish the sentence. They all knew what it meant. In a single moment, the tide of battle had turned once again. Their hard-fought gains, the revelation about Arya's legitimacy, all of it seemed insignificant in the face of this new, overwhelming threat. As alarms blared and the palace shook with renewed imperial assault, Hacked exchanged a look of determination with Killian. They had overcome impossible odds before. Somehow they would have to do it again. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope you loved it. Please remember to subscribe if you did like it so you can see more videos like this. And please give us a like and a comment too. I'll see you in the next one.